a standard question that I get all the time, which is, should I put money in an IRA, traditional IRA, or should I put money in a Roth? Well, folks, I'm going to give you my own personal opinion and dissertation about traditional IRAs versus Roths, but I think at the end of the day, you really need to think about where you're going to be 10, 15, 5 years, if that's when you're retiring from now. Most people that I've found generally, when they retire, they're retiring at an income tax level, a taxable income level with Social Security, with money coming from their retirement plans, maybe a pension or other source of income. Usually that's less or equal to where they were when they were working. Well, if that's the case, what that means is that their marginal tax bracket, the rate that they're paying taxes on, should be equal or lower than where they were during their working lifetimes. If that's really the case, the question is, how much are they truly going to get as a benefit by taking after-tax money they've already paid taxes on, out of their net pay, and investing it into a tax-free or tax-deferred / tax-free Roth account? I don't believe, in fact, that you're really in a position where you can take advantage of doing that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I would tell you that alternatively, by having and taking those tax deductions today, making a pre-tax contribution, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be saving basically you're going to save taxes. You're also going to that money is going to be compounding tax-free, not only the amount that you put in, but the taxes that you saved. And also you're going to making money on the interest on the taxes that you didn't pay. So really we call that triple compounding. I would certainly say to you, in terms of making decisions, what I would do is I would maximize the amount that you can put in on a pre-tax basis, at least equal to the employer matching contribution. So in other words, like in Corey's case, if for the first 5% of his compensation he was able to, they were going to be matching a certain percentage, I would certainly take advantage of that. I would then compare that to, where he was in terms of his total annual contribution and his total savings. And if there is some left over that isn't really going to be needed for, I would call it conspicuous consumption or capital projects, then what he might consider doing is putting money into a Roth. But always put money into tax-deferred vehicles first. Unless, of course, frankly, you're somebody who really is in the, I guess we call it the Obama rich class. And that is somebody that's earning over $250,000 a year. I think in those particular cases, those folks are in a situation where they have to maximize what they can in their retirement plans. And then after that, the real question is, where should they be putting their money? Well, again, I would recommend that they take a look at growth-oriented or tax-free type vehicles. That would make a lot more sense. Growth-oriented investments. We might be talking about individual securities, or as I recommend, typically funds that are not going to be throwing off a lot of dividends, are not going to be throwing a lot of dividends off because those, again, are going to be taxable, but something that will be growth-oriented so that when they do go to sell these, they'll be in a position where they will get long-term capital gains treatment, which should be, in this particular case, tax favorable at least this year. Next year, I know they're talking about raising the marginal rates, but certainly they're going to be keeping them lower than what the highest marginal income tax rate is today. So there's still an advantage to doing that. The other thing is to take a look at tax-frees. If we look at what the yields are today on tax-free securities, typically 30-year municipal bonds, we're looking at yields that are running around 4.5%. Which is pretty good. And in many of the cases, some of the things that I'm doing with clients at this point is we're actually looking at a bundle of insured tax-free municipal bonds being insured by Berkshire Hathaway. And again, those pay about 0.25% less, but at the same time, you're looking at, having professional management, having security behind your principal, at the same time earning interest, which is not only tax-free, but also is reasonably secure because, with most municipal bonds, the interest is typically created by and is funded through revenue projects. So those are things that certainly you should consider. And actually, I talked a little bit about that in those situations in my newsletter of last month, our November newsletter, The Coach's Corner. So I certainly would recommend, as I always do, because this is our, as I like to call it, financial pornography-free newsletter. We call it the Coach's Corner. All you need to do is go to my website. It's jblfinancial.com. And click on the Coach's Corner newsletter when you get there. And if you do give us your email address, we're more than happy to send that to you.